everybody, Tracy Brown. I want to talk a little bit about negative food talk. We're actually trying to eat, and there isn't much frustrating more than that. So you give yourself permission finally to have something that was hard for you to eat without binging, or it was just a scary food that you don't let yourself have hardly ever. When I mean scary, that might mean you're scared of it from a health perspective. Or it could be scary because you have a belief that it makes you gain weight. And so I find this happen commonly in this process where it's like, okay, I can have a bagel, but I certainly can't have a bagel every day because if I do have a bagel every day, I definitely will gain weight. Or if I do eat eggs every day, it will give me heart disease, that kind of thing. And what I say is that we have forgotten, number one, the ultimate tool and guide that we have for our bodies is our bodies. So again, this takes so much practice and probably months, if not years, in your intuitive eating practice and journey, is that believing in and trusting in and doing enough experiments in the body doesn't want too much of any one thing. So I don't think I've shared my bagel story, but I definitely had a time where I believed that, like, okay, I can eat a bagel, but I can't have as many bagels as I want. From even from hunger and fullness, I believed that like most foods don't work that way, but I still had some beliefs, some magical thinking that like if I eat bagels every day, or even more than one a day, I definitely will gain weight. And so this is the way I rolled back in the day of learning this stuff, as I would do big experiments of one day I decided to have Thomas bagels. The really soft ones are, oh, so good. Different flavors, but I mostly like the kind of honey ones the best. So I bought a bag of those, and I decided that any single time that I was hungry in a day, and if I really wanted one, I would have one. And that's what I did. And the first day I did that, I think I had 4 in one day. From hunger and fullness, of course, just to kind of work on that theory that I had this belief that like if I eat bagels as much as I want, I would gain weight. And so the first day goes by and I'm like, okay, I was magically shocked the next day when my pants don't fit, but I'm like, okay, I gotta keep going because one day I was being skeptical. Well, one day doesn't mean that much. And so the second day I did it, and I think I had 3 that day. And by the way, all different kinds of ways, like melted with cheese, with butter, with cream cheese, with jelly, honey, whatever. Every day is a little every time is a little different. Making sandwiches out of them, whatever. The third day, okay, I still kind of want to have bagels around. It makes me feel like it's okay to have them, so I'm gonna. So I think that time we're on my second package now. I went to the store before I went to work and brought my bag of bagels to work with me. And I think that I only had 2, which I was shocked. I'm like, I don't really want a third one, even though mentally I kind of do because it's still kind of new, but physically I'm like, I don't really want one. And it took me another couple days to finish that 3rd pack. So the point of that story is that by habituating in such a kind of dramatic way, I kind of proved to myself that like I don't really want bagels. And by the way, I wouldn't have been able to do that experiment very well if I had been under eating at the time. I wasn't under eating. Now, if I had tried to do that experiment probably 5 to 10 years earlier than that, when I was still back and forth between restricting and binging, that would have been a harder experiment to prove that right. Just because if you're deprivation-driven eating, you can easily polish off 2 packs of bagels in a day, and if your body weight is below where it needs to be, you can gain weight on anything. So I kind of want to put that caveat out there. So this goes back to the negative talk. And so let's say that you have an experiment like I'm letting myself eat Krispy Kreme or McDonald's or whatever it is, and it's like, okay, I'm letting myself have this, but the whole time you're beating yourself up. I need you to take a time out and say, wait a minute, who says? Who says if I eat these nuggets and fries, is this going to make me gain weight? Who says if I eat donuts for breakfast, this is going to make me gain weight? Because what we're lacking here is trust. And our diet voices don't trust. Their agenda is not to trust. Our diet voice is just there to help you try to eat less. So you can try to earn whatever it is you're trying to earn through thinness or get. And I just did a Facebook Live talk about this today around the more we can at least be neutral about around our bodies, the easier it is to be able to know that we can eat our McDonald's, our donuts, our bagels, and the body's not going to want too much of any of that. And if we can do that for long enough, we start to trust it, because you might tell yourself, I can have McDonald's today. And you might hear back, yeah, I'm not feeling it. And it's not magic, but it certainly feels like it once that starts to happen for you. So hopefully this was helpful. So your takeaway for this today is, if you hear negative talk, say, wait a minute.